Hi everyone. Today, let's dive into a passage that speaks directly to anyone walking through a difficult season. It's found in Psalm 107, 23 to 33. The psalmist paints a vivid picture of sailors who went out to sea. They were experienced and very familiar with the waters, yet suddenly a violent storm arose. The waves grew higher, the winds raged, and what once felt so familiar to them became terrifying. The scripture reads like this in verse 26. They mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depths. In their peril, their courage melted away. Have you ever felt that way? Most of us have experienced seasons where life felt steady and predictable. We make plans, we pursue our goals, we cared for our families, and we felt confident about the future. Then, without warning, suddenly everything changes and a storm appears. And it could be in the form of a phone call, a diagnosis, a season of grief, a burden we never expected to carry. Storms have a way of reminding us how fragile our sense of control really is. One thing I find fascinating with this psalm is that it doesn't simply describe the storm, it reveals God's purpose through it. Verse 25 says, "For he spoke and stirred up as a tempest that lifted high the waves." That can be difficult for us to understand. We often think of God only rescuing us from storms, but Scripture reminds us that He is sovereign over them as well. Nothing enters our lives apart from His knowledge and His permission. This means that even in the storm, He remains on the throne. The winds that frighten us never escape His authority. The waves that threaten us never move beyond His command. The circumstances that come chaotically around us never seem chaotic to Him. What feels out of control in our lives is completely under His control. Sometimes God allows storms not to destroy us, but to reveal Himself to us. There are depths of God's character that we often discover only in those seasons of difficulty. We learn that He is our refuge when we have nowhere else to run. We learn that He is our provider when our resources fail. We learn that He is our peace when our emotions are unsettled. And we learn that His presence is enough when everything else is stripped away. Storms have a way of exposing where our trust really lies. When everything is comfortable, we often lean on our own strength. But when the waves begin to rise, we discover just how desperately we need the Lord. The sailors here in Psalm 107 eventually reach the end of themselves. Verse 27 says this: they were all at their wits' end. That means that they had exhausted every possible solution they could think of. Their experience, knowledge, and strength could not save them. And then something beautiful happens here in verse 28. It says, "Then they cried out to the Lord and in their trouble, and He brought them out of their distress." Notice that God did not turn them away. He didn't say to them, "You should have handled it better. You should have come to me sooner." No. The moment they cried out, He responded. What an incredible picture of God's heart. No matter how long we have struggled, or how many mistakes we have made, or how hopeless our situation seems, the Lord still invites us to call upon Him. Prayer is not our last resort. It is our greatest resource. Verse 29 says this: He stilled the storm to a whisper, and the waves of the sea were hushed. What a powerful image. The God who spoke the universe into existence can speak peace in the middle of our chaos. Sometimes God calms the storm around us. Sometimes God calms the storm within us. There are times when God removes the difficulty, and there are times when He walks beside us through it. But His promise remains the same. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. The psalm concludes by reminding us that God has the power to transform situations that seem impossible. He can bring hope where there is despair and life where there seems to be none. So whatever storm you are facing today, remember this: the storm does not have the final word. Our God does. So keep trusting our God. Keep praying and keep looking to Him. The God who rules the wind and the waves is the same God who is holding your life in His hands. So, I want to ask you a question. What storm in your life is God inviting you to surrender to Him today? Make this declaration today. Just declare that you will trust God in every season. When fear comes, you will remember His faithfulness. When the storm and waves rise, you will look to Him. The Lord is your refuge. The Lord is your strength. And the Lord is your peace. He is with you in every storm. And make that declaration that you will trust Him completely. May God bless you with His peace today and always.